Step into a world of enchantment at Kings Island's Winterfest with the all-new Wonder Wand. It's a magical blend of the ever-popular Magic Band Plus and the spellbinding wands from the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Hello, everyone. Alongside Ryan Sir, I'm Don Helbig, and this is Tower Topics.
Tower Topics is a podcast by Kings Island fans for Kings Island fans. That's who we are, and that's who we care about.
Ryan, the Wonder Wand. It appears to be a hidden gem at this year's Winterfest. There was really no advance promotion about it, whether it was Kings Island's website, social media, any news stories, anything like that. But it seems to be something that really caught the guests' attention on opening night. What were your thoughts?
Well, it's funny because I found out about it probably the same way everybody else found out. I had a friend of mine that, is hardcore Kings Island, like many of us. And so he got there right when, so shall we say, the rope dropped. And he starts sending me pictures of this thing saying Wonder Wand activation spot or Winterfest activation spot over by Mystic Timbers. And he's like, what's this? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. So kind of forgot about it. And then I had other people texting me asking about it too. And then I found out what it was, and I was like, why is nobody talking about this? And as a grown man, I had to participate in it.
Yeah, I remember getting a text from you, and you said, this thing's amazing. Did you know anything about it? So, it really seems to be that hidden gem there. But, can you tell our listeners more about, it's got unique locations where the Wonder Wand interacts directly, with specific spots in the park?
Yeah, so it has a couple of interaction spots. So when you buy your Wonder Wand, which looks like this, by the way, for all you YouTube viewers, you can see it. So it kind of looks like the normal bubble wand light up thing that they sell, but it comes with a map. And this map is a card that has a couple different locations. So the interactive spots are near, let's see here. By Mrs. Claus's Kitchen, by Antique Autos, near Mystic Timbers, the window at Sally Seacraft's, or on Snoopy's Doghouse. So what it does is the wand can actually interact with it. As you know, many of you guys know, if you go to Harry Potter World at Universal, you can buy one of their wands, and then you can do, magic spells using the wand, and it'll make things happen. This is not unlike that. Fortunately, they've mastered the magic of Winterfest. It doesn't require as much. It just has a trigger, and you point the wand at the object, and you hit the trigger, and it makes it activate. Some stuff is way more impressive than others. I will say that. So, for example, the in front of Antique Autos, they have all those plastic light up Winterfest decorations. I think they were going for a cheesy Christmas thing. They were the ones that were originally back by Backlot Stunt Coaster the first year. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Well, those things are back there now. And if you hit that interaction spot, they just kind of flicker. I think they're supposed to go to music, but they don't yet. But on the other hand, myself and all my friends kind of agree that the neatest one is over by Mystic. If you hit that one, then the Mystic Timbers truck lights up and it starts playing Jingle Bells on the horn. So it's things along those lines. I just think it's so neat.
Ryan, how does the Wonder Wand enhance the glow zones, the experience there, like in the Ice Princess area, with the shades of blue and white, or Candy Cane Lane with the red and white illumination? Are there other surprising elements like burst of bubbles that visitors can expect?
Yeah, so that's the cool thing about it, and I've always been equating this to the plus side of Magic Band Plus, because for those of you who have had one, you know that it's a very basic object. It changes the color of the ride or the show or whatever, it's a very similar concept, but this has that extra dimension where part of its routine is it'll shoot bubbles out. So one of the most probably impressive examples of what it does with the bubbles is when they have the tree lighting. It counts down, so 10, 9, and it's changing color as you're counting down. And then when the tree lights up and everybody cheers, it starts shooting bubbles. So I thought that was just kind of the neatest thing ever.
Yeah, share a little bit more about the insights from the show interactions. Like you just mentioned, the tree lighting ceremony, Cool Yule Christmas. How does the Wonder Wand synchronize with the lighting design language to create a dazzling visual spectacle.
So as you mentioned, it matches the design language of the lights, much like anything else using this technology. Is it perfect? No, it's pretty good though, especially for a seasonal park. And I'm comparing this to the Magic Band Plus, which is a multi-billion-dollar project. The most impressive thing that I saw was the parade. I was told when I purchased the wand that it would interact with the Jack Frost float. So I kind of just waited for that one to come by. But what I think they were going for was that the Jack Frost float is approximately in the center of the parade. So for probably 80-85% of the parade going by, your wand syncs up with the lights of the parade. So the floats are all pixel mapped. So basically they'll all turn red, they'll all alternate between green and blue, whatever. Your wand will do the same thing. And then if I recall, it also shoots out bubbles occasionally too. So almost instantaneously while you're watching it, and it's doing this red and white design, and it cuts to blue, it'll switch along with it. It's almost like you're in the show with it.
That'd be a lot of fun. I would think the parade would be the highlight, with the Wonder Wand.
That was definitely the part that really gave me the wow moment, where I thought it was kind of cool and exciting. And I was with a bunch of friends that are like, you really spent $30 on a wand. But that was the point where I was like, okay, I'm glad I did this, because I'm glad I had this experience.
Now, for those interested in getting their own Wonder Wand, where can they find it in the park? Are there any specific recommendations for the best time to purchase it? And when's the best time to use it during Winterfest?
So you can use it throughout the night of Winterfest, and I'm going to do a run through of everything it does, because I just want to make sure that everything's covered, because this device is so diverse in what it does. It's almost like they packed too much into it. But the ones, as I said before, are $29.99. If you've got a season pass, platinum pass, whatever, your discount does apply. Where I purchased from was one of those little temporary huts that they put out that the vendors work out of. But this one's over kind of by the sound booth for the bandstand. So it's like the Eiffel Tower's behind it. And then they were selling it off like the night vending carts as well. Kings Island is cashless, so you have to use your Apple Pay or whatever. But as far as actually using it, I just sometimes I would forget that I had it, and it would start working, and I'd be like, "Whoa, cool!" You don't want to miss a tree lighting. I mean, you don't want to miss a tree lighting anyway. But in this case, the fact that it interacts with the lights and it does the countdown and stuff, that's just mind-blowingly neat, especially if you haven't seen something like that before. And you don't want to miss Cool Yule for the same reason. It syncs up with it. But also variously throughout the park, you walk through, and if you go into Candy Cane Lane, it starts alternating between red and white. If you go through the Ice Princess area back by the Vortex, it does this blue thing, and I believe it does bubbles with that as well. It does another design. I want to say it's like purple and green over by the ice carvers. So it's going to match the design language of the area that you're in. Now, I will say this, though. So I had a really great associate that explained everything to me when they gave me the map, but it has a switch on it. If the switch is in the middle, that means it's off. If the switch is in the up position, that means it's just on, and it's going to start shooting bubbles and making lights, as you can see here, for those of you watching the video version.
That's really cool.
The downward position. Yeah, and I was playing with it all night, and there's still, like, I can look at it through the light and see that it's probably got 75% of the bubbles in it. But in the downward position, where the globe on the top kind of phases white to dark, that's when it's searching for those RFID signals, so it'll interact with stuff within the park. Now, one thing I want to point out is that the map that I got, and this is kind of strange, and I tried to get an answer to this, but I haven't been able to yet, is it lists the unique location. So that's like Mrs. Claus's Kitchen, Antique Autos. That's when you can like interact, kind of like the spells with Harry Potter. It's got the glow zones where it lights up with the design language of the area. But it also has a section that says snowmen locations. And it has 5 listed, but they all say coming soon. They don't have locations or anything. They just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and coming soon. So I don't know what the snowmen are going to be or what that's all about. I've been trying to get to the bottom of it, but I can't get anyone to talk, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you would say that would, possibly be the upcoming additions or plans to expand the Wonder Wand experience, right?
Yeah, I would say so. It's my guess is that they simply ran out of time, which, it's such a big undertaking. I can't be mad at them for that. But it looks like they're pretty confident it's going to be soon. assuming that they were selling the wands as early as the first weekend, with that saying
Hmm.
that it comes soon.
You know, you've got the Wonder Wand. You know some other guests that have it. Can you share any reaction from guests, or maybe something you've seen on social media, fan sites from those that have used it?
You know what's funny is I haven't seen too many people actually buy it yet, and part of it is because the word's not out there. But I will tell you that when I was showing videos to people, because I recorded a bunch of videos with this particular program in mind, when I was showing them, like, you got to see this, see how it goes with the countdown on the tower and stuff. People were like, "That is actually really, really cool." Like I said, I was hanging out with a group of friends, all of which were relatively around my age, and they were making fun of me, frankly, for buying the wand because I got there before everybody else. And by the end of the night, they were like, "Okay, that actually was pretty cool." So I'm a grown man, and this toy meets my approval.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't experienced it, but it's certainly fun to write about. Which I did on my theme parks blog. But in what ways do you think the Wonder Wand has contributed to creating a sense of enchantment and holiday magic during Kings Island's Winterfest? I mean, it's already a magical place, but this looks like it's really going to add and enhance that. And how does it align with the overall theme and atmosphere of the event?
Well, the overall theme and atmosphere is like mystical and wonderful, and the Christmas spirit, the holiday spirit, and so on. And having this, I really think that it kind of like adds to the magic, shall we say? How it adds to the event, I'm still eagerly anticipating that because I don't think it's come to full fruition yet. You've probably seen Phantasmic probably more than I have at Disney, and Phantasmic does a great job of interacting with the Magic Band Plus. And if you're wearing one, it's kind of cool to see it change color and stuff. But if you're sitting with a group and there's 15 people all with it, and all the magic bands are changing color and stuff, that's a completely different experience. That's really cool. I've got a feeling that the tree lighting, especially, is going to be especially magical when they count down to 0. The tree lights up, all the singers on their choir, as they call it, cheer, and then everyone's shooting bubbles out. I think, along with the fake snow, the Snope. That'll be a really cool experience. And, if I do see a bunch of people with the wand, I definitely want to record that because I want to put that up on YouTube. That's going to be really neat.
Yeah, it sounds like that'd be a tremendous, just great visual there at Winterfest. Now, for yourself,
Hmm.
since you've experienced it, uh, you don't have a lot of experience with it, just one night there. But have you personally, do you have a favorite interaction or a moment using it that has stood out to you?
Yeah, a couple of them. Um, so I would say for the actual like touch points, like the interactive spots, my friends and I basically agreed that the Mystic Timbers one with the truck was kind of the winner. That one was the most neat one, and that mixed both Christmas along with the theme of Mystic Timbers. So that was super creative. I really, really enjoyed that. Um, for like the light up areas, the the ice garden, the ice princess area back by where the old vortex was, that was just so neat because you walk into it and it doesn't register. I mean, this technology is not infinite. It doesn't go through the whole area, but you walk probably 20-25 feet into it, and all of a sudden, you're flashing white and blue, and every once in a while it's shooting bubbles up. And it's funny because it's almost like you took a prop from the area and started walking around with it. So that's really cool. And then as far as show interaction is concerned, I've come back to the countdown to the tree lighting several times, but I also don't want. I mean, nobody missed the parade if you have this thing. That's probably the neatest showcase of the technology. So I really enjoyed all three of those.
Let's touch on the parade real quick. The route changed a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Did you like that change?
So yeah, I did like. I like the change because I think logistically it makes more sense. What I was kind of hoping for was that, when the problem with the parade has always been, and I understand why this happens, is it goes through its route, it goes down the Grain and Grill side of International Street, makes a left, goes up the La Rosa side of International Street. Those are official terms, by the way, that I just made up. And then after it goes up the La Rosa side of International Street, it does the show stop. This is both Winterfest and Grand Carnival, by the way. It might have actually been the 50th Cavalcade thing too. But anyway, the it does the show stop and then the parade's over. So if you were, for example, at the very, like, you're standing down by the French corner, you'll see the parade come at you, do the show stop, and then like everybody hops off and it goes away because everyone's got to get to their shows. And I thought that they were doing this as a like a solve for that, but from what I saw, it still kind of happens. I mean, the parade is such a big undertaking as far as personnel is concerned. There's like dozens, if not hundreds, of people in it, and they've got places to be. So Winterfest can, start taking one foot in front of the other immediately afterward. But there was a lot of confusion with it. I'll tell you that because the parade no longer goes down in front of like the funnel cake stand. That's you go down International Street and it's on your left, near where like the wood carver place used to be. I'm really going back at this point. Because we were sitting there and then I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't think the parade hits here because it doesn't go down that side of International Street, but it comes up that side, but that's not part of the parade. So there's like an intersection there, and that confused a lot of people as to where the line was that they were supposed to stand on because we were behind a white line there, which implied that there was going to be a parade going by, but there's not. So if they just continue to do it this way, people will eventually learn. But there was a little bit of confusion at first, but I imagine that most people aren't like me and they don't just assume they know the parade route and they'll look and they'll see, where the best place to watch it is and they'll get the information from there.
Anyone in the parade? Do any of them have the Wonder Wand?
I didn't see anybody with the Wonder Wand, but that would be a really cool effect. I didn't think about that. That's kind of creative. Like, not even necessarily the Wonder Wand, but maybe a more professional, more durable version where what they're holding syncs up with the float in front of them. That would be cool.
Yeah, I was thinking, if someone's got their favorite character in the parade, a young child or something, their favorite character's got the Wonder Wand. Well, certainly, the child's going to want that too. So
Oh,
I had to stop from a marketing point of view. That would be a good thing to do.
You reminded me of something, Don. This is a feature that I didn't get to use yet. Well, okay, I used it on an employee, and I'll tell that story. But so the Wonder Wand reacts with other Wonder Wands. So, so if you have a Wonder Wand and it's in the mode where it's looking for the RFID stuff, you can take yours and shoot that person with it, and theirs will light up and start shooting bubbles. I forgot to mention that. So that would be kind of fun to shoot the parade performers and then bubbles start shooting out. But the only time I really got to try that out was there was a girl that was working at the little hut where I bought mine. And she was holding it, just 'cause they didn't have any customers at the time. And I just walked by and just shot at it. And it just started going nuts, and it confused her as to why it was doing this. She thought she had actually accidentally turned it on to the on mode. But that's something that I think that kids will absolutely go crazy over is that, you can walk up. I mean, it's supposed to be friendly, obviously, but you can walk up behind someone and shoot it, and then all of a sudden they're shooting bubbles and stuff. So I think that's neat. Like I said, the device does so much that I'm honestly like I had to make sure I had all my props and stuff here just to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's such an exciting product. It's the technology's been out there for a while, but this is the first time Kings Island's had this. I think that Winterfest was a great place to introduce it. But now that the technology, in my opinion, is proven. I mean, for me, I didn't really have a lot of complaints about stuff not working, except for the stuff that seemed incomplete at this time. But if they could do Grand Carnival next year, it would be awesome to have a light up one for that makes different, maybe one in each country or something. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And, $30, it's expensive, but I mean, it's expensive to have fun. I mean, everything's expensive nowadays, and you get your pass discount on it.
Well, it certainly seems like it's a product that's going to expand or, enhance your experience there at Winterfest. Something that sounds like you've got to get. So one more time for our listeners, Ryan, they're going to Winterfest this weekend. Where can they find the Wonder Wand to purchase?
Well, I imagine the Wonder Wand is probably going to be available throughout most retail locations, but where I specifically saw it was that little shed hut thing across from the International Bandstand. On International Street in front of the Eiffel Tower, and there were some night vending carts out there in kind of that vicinity that were selling it too. It's $29.99. Remember, they only take cards nowadays, cards, Google, and Apple Pay, and your season pass discount does apply.
All right, Ryan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, so I I know that there's a lot of people in the park who work there and stuff that listen to this podcast, and I know that they worked really, really hard on this stuff, and this was probably dropped on them. I just want to say that it's you guys did something really cool this time. It's really appreciated. It works very well, and I hope it's super successful, and I hope you're recognized for what you've done.
Absolutely, there, Ryan. Well, this wraps up another episode of Tower Topics. For Ryan, sir, I'm Don Helbig. Goodbye.